themselves, you're into sand about this deep. Sand, not really appropriate dust about that deep. It's interesting though. There you go. Anybody's interested in that, you can have that.
Yeah, just pass it around if you want to.
Now,
Thank you.
I have always believed that every American should speak at least one foreign language, and I decided that I would learn how to speak Spanish. How appropriate that is. Anyway, I was down in Antigua, Guatemala with my renegade daughter, and she decided that we needed to, in addition to learning how to speak Spanish, we needed to climb an active volcano. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the dumbest thing you can ever do. But I got pictures of the volcano doing what it does. And sure enough, we climbed up this thing, and we're going up the mountain, and it's getting about dusk when we started up the real steep part. And there's a little bridge of sorts, not a man-made bridge, it just happened to be there because of the lava flow and stuff. Let's see, it's about this wide, and on this side of this bridge is about a 1,000-foot drop-off. You know what I'm saying? This is not good. If I was any more than 6 feet tall, I'd have to walk on my knees. All right, and on this side, there's a slope about this angle. There's black volcanic ash, and it goes off into what I don't know what it goes off into. I can't see the bottom of it over that side. But I figured this is not good. But we climbed to the top of the mountain, and this is what the mountain looks like when it's doing its thing, which it was. Interestingly, though, when you travel up the mountain, you see these nice little sparkly things coming out of the mountain, and nobody told me that these were big rocks like this that are red hot, and nobody told me until I went up in July. And in January of that same year that I went up, one of those little sparkly things flew out of there and hit the tour guide in the head and killed him. So
Oh my goodness.
that's one of those, if you're really courageous, brave, adventurous, and bold, go for it. Otherwise, maybe not so much. But Guatemala, nice place. You got a Lake Atitlan, which was created by a volcanic eruption. The lake itself is 1,300 feet deep, and it's kind of interesting to go see anyway.
How many of you been to Guatemala? Let's see. There's Eleanor has. He has been there. At least 2 people.
You been to Guatemala too, huh?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Been to Antigua?
Yes, I have.
All right. Nice little town.
Yes, it is.
Sure is. But anyway, that was something that was of interest to me. And anybody been to Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay? Where you?
Brazil.
Brazil? Brazil? All right. At the intersection of the border between Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay, there's a big waterfall called Iguazu Falls. Did you go there?
No.
Okay. It's bigger than Niagara, and it's quite impressive, and I have some pictures here. I'll pass those around. And you can say, oh my goodness, that's a big lot of water there. And sure enough it is. Now, they show in one of these pictures people standing out over an observation deck looking down saying, you know, I'm not doing that. I'm back on the solid ground. A couple of years before I went down there, they had a little path that you walked out on the rocks and looked down like that. Well, the problem was, one of those rocks decided it was time to fall into the drink there with 2 people on it. And neither one of them survived. So stay on the beaten path there. Really an interesting place to go if you get a chance to go down that area. I went from Asuncion, but I suppose you can get there from other destinations as well. Now, what do I have here? Oh, that's easy. Anybody? Everybody's been to Germany, hasn't you? You go do the church tours and the. I got Neuschwanstein here. Anybody's been to Disney World? You know about that. But nevertheless. One of the things that I found extremely interesting about the German churches is that they were all decorated. You know, the ceilings were decorated, just gorgeous things. You've seen those too, I'll bet. And so if you get a chance to do that, by all means take a tour of that. The other general area that I really enjoyed was Bavaria. The Bavarian Alps are just absolutely stunning. Berchtesgaden is one of those places where they have a armed forces center there that just happens to be in just some of the most beautiful terrain on the earth. And so that's in the general area where you'll find Neuschwanstein. And my very favorite castle in Germany was Linderhof. Neuschwanstein's got the great architecture outside, but Linderhof has the whole package. It looks like a castle to me when you get inside and all the fine things that they have going on for them. We're going the right direction there,
You
buddy?
are.
Okay.
I just wonder how many had been to any of those castles he's talking about.
I lived in Germany for 5 years. I've been to those castles more than one time.
Yeah.
I've been to all those castles about twice.
Yeah,
Very impressive.
Very. You agree with Linderhof being a more elaborate castle-like? Or?
The interior, yes, but Neuschwanstein, which in German means new swanstone, is much more impressive from the outside.
Exactly.
But the interior of the other castle at Linderhof is more impressive on the inside.
Yeah. I enjoyed it all. We go into
And I
those
went
churches.
to the third castle, Baron Chiemsee, which was also very impressive. That's on an island in a lake.
Yep. Very. I think that was a hunting lodge, if I remember. Was that?
No, Baron Chiemsee is built on to the scale and the same style as the French royalty at Versailles.
Yeah. Okay.
What were you doing in those places? Did you speak to the police and the...
No, actually,
No?
I didn't. All these things that I've talked about so far were pretty much, I was like you, I was in Germany and I had a chance to tour around and I thought, wow, this is pretty neat. What she's talking about is teaching these folks. What I do now is I travel around the world teaching first responders, the fire, paramedics, and police folks how to respond to weapons of mass destruction type incidents. So that's the reason I'm on the road all the time. That plus, when you're home, it's kind of like old socks. The sweat socks, after about 3 days, it's time to get rid of those. You've got to get on the road again. And that's she who must be obeyed, not here. I'd be in bigger trouble than I already am. I know when I'm in trouble. I wake up in the morning, I'm in trouble. One of my, she knows her. Yeah, mean woman.
Oh, she is so unmean.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk about Italy just a little. How many of you have been to Italy? Man, you guys have been everywhere, haven't you?
Over statute and under bathroom.
Over what?
Over statute and under bathroom.
Oh, and that's true. But they got these walls. Yeah, they got the walls where you can take care of business. The ladies, they may have a little more challenge than that, but the guys, not a problem. Did you go to Rome?
Yes.
Okay. Take a day trip out to Tivoli?
No.
Tivoli. There's a area about a day's ride out of, what's a day trip, out of Rome where you can go that they've actually, talking about fountains here, they've diverted a river to create a whole bunch of fountains. Absolutely gorgeous. So I would go out to the Tivoli gardens there and the fountains and take a look at those things. Here, the only thing I can find, there's a little picture right here of some of the water falling down over the, cascading down over the walls there, but trust me, it's way, way more impressive than this picture. The whole thing is. Then we have the Trevi Fountain in Rome. Got a picture of that. And then we get down to what you're really probably going to Rome to see, and that's the Vatican. You got all the ruins and things like that that are, oh wow, gee whiz, exciting. But the Vatican, and I have a picture here of the Sistine Chapel. A little teeny tiny picture. And I have a picture here of the creation of Adam from the Sistine Chapel. And that is one of the most impressive art locations I have ever seen in my life.
How many of you have been to the Vatican or over there? See,
That,
same group.
you just walk in and you think that you've seen art and things like that. Well, when you walk into there, it's entirely beyond anything I was expecting. And you just think that the guy was laying on his back, painting this thing for years. And then, wow, somebody had the handle on some art back then. But then you got the Sistine Chapel. There's also other buildings that you can go through that have tons and tons of art. And well, that's the first time I saw a hallway where the art was, on the sides, and just unbelievable. But they painted the paintings with people in them so that when you walked by them, it looked like the eyes were following you as you walked by the pictures. And I'm thinking, whoa, that's just, somebody has some talent there. I have talent as far as recognizing other people's talent. That's about all I can do. But that was just absolutely gorgeous. Anybody got anything they want to add to the Rome and things like that? You got all the ruins and the aqueducts and things like that.
The Last Supper, the painting of the Last Supper is not in Rome, but during World War II, there was a bomb that knocked down 3 walls, but left the wall with the Last Supper there intact. Mm-hmm. And when we were there, they were rebuilding that. And there was a lady with a magnifying glass who was resurrecting, if you will, the Last Supper picture, and she was modernizing or repairing 1 square inch per week. I thought that was impressive. And she was maybe 25% finished when we were there. I'm sure it's finished by now. This has been a number of years.
Wow.
But that was
1 square inch per week. That is setting goals.
Oh, I'm telling you. By the way, I didn't tell you this, but I've been to 47 different countries and all 50 states. So if you got any questions, comments, or snide remarks, please feel free. If I don't know the answer, I'll make something up.
Did you ever not feel safe? Did you ever feel threatened by the local people?
Where was this?
In any of your travels, have you ever felt threatened by the local people?
The only place I ever felt a bit uncomfortable was in the Hanging Gardens, and I was packing heat at the time, so.
But did you have, were there soldiers with you? Were there
well, actually,
to guard you?
Let me tell you how I got there. I was a low-life contractor. I don't know if any of you in here are low-life contractors, but anyway.
No, these are the smartest people in the world.
Pardon me?
These are the smartest people in the world. All of the Ollie Osher people.
Well, all right. We appreciate that. I am the token then.
Okay, you're the token.
How I got to go on this trip was they were looking for security guards for some of the real civilians. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm authorized to pack heat even though I'm a low-life contractor. So I said, yeah, I'll go with you. And there was me and 3 or 4 green suit folks providing security for the looky-loos. And while I was there, I can look around this way, but I'm going to check out everything else too. So that's how I got to see the Hanging Gardens. Yeah, that was a little tense. The travel to and from was more tense than anything else, but that came off with no problems.
I had a tense moment driving through the slums of Los Angeles with Alabama license plates on my car. I got some fists shaking at me.
The most tense moment I've ever had was down in Ecuador. Doesn't have anything to do with the locals, but what we were doing, I was traveling with some friends of mine, and this teacher that we had gone to visit was cross-eyed. I mean, seriously cross-eyed. If he's looking at you here, he's doing this. And that's okay unless you're driving. Unless you're driving in the mountains of Ecuador, and there's a big bus coming up towards you, which they did regularly, and a drop-off and no guardrail on this side. And every time that we would pass a bus, you know, your natural tendency is when there's a light coming towards you, you steer toward the light. Well, he was steering, like, you know, he was doing one of these numbers, and when the bus would pass, we were in his lane. And I'm thinking, we're going to die. Yeah, I've seen this movie before. That's where we all die. And so that was the most tense I've had in my travels. We made it down. His wife was trying to say, hey, would you like me to drive? Oh, no, I've got it. Let her drive. You know? I know you've never had any experiences like that, but anyway, now those are some of the things that I've. Anybody been to Thailand? Oh, no. Good place. Beautiful place. Man, you guys been everywhere. How many countries you guys been to?
I don't know, I haven't counted, but a lot, but not very much in depth. We've done this on cruises, you know, a day or two here and a day or two there. But yeah, we've been to a lot of countries via cruise.
Yeah.
And you own property in Hawaii, don't you? Hawaii.
Well, yeah,
Maui.
we spend 2 months a year in Maui.
Oh, beautiful area. Beautiful area. I usually can't get my wife to go with me on these trips, but if I go to old Hawaii, she finds time. If I go to San Diego, yeah, she's available. Go to Las Vegas, oh, I can make that. If I go to Fallon, Nevada, she is the busiest woman you've ever seen. I don't understand that myself.
She goes with you to Alaska too a few times.
Well, yeah, that works. That works out too.
What was your favorite place that you've been of all of those?
My standard answer to that is wherever I am. But you guys, I guess if I had to say one area is more interesting than any others, I'd have to go with Rome, because there's so much there, not just going and, you know, I see the same thing that I've seen everywhere else, the tourist shops and things like that, like you do on the cruises and things like that. There's just so much there. And if you want to go down farther south, there's Pompeii, which is well worth the adventure down that way. So if I had one place, one country to go to, one area to go to, I'd have to think it would be Rome. But I have found that you can enjoy every place you are, no matter how desolate. Just a matter of mindset. When I was in Saudi Arabia and when I was wearing the green suit, out in the, well, I would say out in the bushes, but there wasn't any bushes. And these Saudi shepherds would drive up in their great big tractor trailer jobs, offload sheep, and pitch a tent that, you know, push a button, the tent pops up. And they've got their Toyota pickup trucks and things like that, and they're living a tough life for a shepherd. And I'm looking around, what in the wide world can these sheep be eating? But if you lean down just a little bit and get a little better perspective from ground level, there's actually little green shoots every now and then that you can see that these sheep are going around. They can see them, they munch on the green shoots, and there's actually stuff to see. Even in a situation like that, there's all kinds of interesting things to see and do and learn. There wasn't a whole lot else other than that, but that was, you know, just one of those things that you got to appreciate where you are, no matter what you're doing. Thailand, beautiful place, extremely friendly people, and if you have a chance, go down to Pattaya Beach on the Gulf of Siam, and my experience there was better than most, probably because I stayed with one of the folks who owned a motel, and happened to be his birthday. He was from the Philippines, and their custom is if you're staying in their house on their birthday, they have to feed you. Boy, did they feed me. Beautiful. Unbelievable food. But the beach and all the surrounding area there is just absolutely gorgeous. Don't recommend you go down in that area during tsunami season. So, you know, that's probably not a good plan, but it's a beautiful place. How much time do I have, everybody?
Well, do you have any questions about any of the travels or his work?
Yes, sir?
In Guatemala, were you on a jungle suspension bridge, this bridge you were discussing?
No, it wasn't a man-made bridge. It was actually a ribbon of soil, land,
Ah, I see.
and you got 1,000 feet of nothing on this side, and I'm not so sure on this side what was over there. But you know, you're walking on volcanic ash, so you know how stable that is. And one misstep, and they gave us flashlights, so when we go up, you know, it's okay. When we come down, it's after dark. The idea is you take a bag lunch, you go up and look at the volcano and say, ooh, isn't that nice? And on the way back, you stop at a little enclosed area. An enclosed area is rocks about this high, and have your lunch and watch the sparklers fly out. And then you try to get your flashlight to work as you go back across this land.
Hope it works.
Takes more than that. It takes a lot of courage.
Nothing.
But
Then
you know,
guided tours with those at the volcanoes, or
And,
is it just something you just say, well, I think I'll do this today, you get up and do
well,
it?
you could do it on your own. I think I paid the guy, you know, to take us up there and risk my life. And my renegade daughter did it again. And so I'm thinking, you know what, something wrong with that child's upbringing.
Just because she did what the father.
Like a little bit of father rubbed off.
Yeah. Don't know, but we had a good time down there. We really did. And she spent about a month in Guatemala taking 101 Spanish classes, and when she got back, she slept out of 2 years of college Spanish. So it paid off for her. Not so much for Dad, but you know.
What'd you think of Nicaragua?
Didn't spend a lot of time in Nicaragua, just went through there. But from folks that I've heard talk about it, it's quite nice. A little less developed than some of the other countries, but that's one of those places that I wouldn't mind going now. I've been up the northern ends of Costa Rica, and I imagine it's going to be pretty close to that. But I would like to go.
You were there, weren't you? In Nicaragua.
Yeah, just long enough to find out what kind of quarter you use to go tell the rebels that you're a good guy and want to join them.
Yeah.
I think it's a 1981.
Yeah. Did you hear
You
what I
get
said
the-
about now?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the past, maybe not so much. But actually, they're developing some of the southwestern parts of Nicaragua now, along the lines of Costa Rica. And so I understand it's pretty good economic deal, assuming that you survive long enough to enjoy it.
Any other questions?
You've been to Kilauea, the U.S. Volcano National Park, and Kilauea on the Big Island of Hawaii?
I didn't. My wife went. I was doing the W thing, you know, the four-letter word. And while I was doing that, she was off on a tour to Kilauea and other things, and she enjoyed it.
You were there, weren't you?
Yeah, it's got continuous sparklers. At least when we were there, it was, it was flowing pretty heavily, and it was creating, round numbers, 5 acres of new earth a day.
Wow.
You know, because it's flows down through vents and out into the ocean and keeps building new land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you could have your own island,
Yeah.
own your own island.
Also brought something here. Thought I had some other stuff I did, but I don't know where it is. I also recommend if you haven't seen everything there is in the U.S., it's awful hard to beat what we got here.
That's
It
right.
really is.
That is so true.
My big three were Yosemite, and I brought the picture of Yosemite here. And what I like about Yosemite is you got all these big mountains alongside the valley. What you don't see is that valley that you're standing on is 5,000 feet worth of silt that's filled up what was left over by the glaciers. And
It's a
so,
big caldera, isn't it?
no, Yosemite's not. Yellowstone is.
Yellowstone.
But yeah, and that's one of my other ones. Yellowstone is a caldera that's 35 miles wide and 40 miles long. And the original eruption, I looked up this before it came out just so I have something interesting to say. The original eruption at Yellowstone, there's been 3 big ones now. The original eruption at Yellowstone was 2,400 times bigger than Mount St. Helens.
Wow.
So It was, I think this is a technical, maybe a metric term, it was gigundamous. But Yellowstone to me is one of those things that it's just hard to fathom.
Everybody, or a lot of people watched that Burns thing on the national parks last week. That was really quite a set of programs.
Yeah, I didn't see that. But I
You
can
can
tell
order
you
it for
that I've been to Yellowstone a number of times.
$49.95.
Pardon me?
You can order the DVD for $49.95. No, I don't know. I don't remember how much.
Yeah,
Small company.
or I can get it online for $19.95, but there is a handling charge. I understand
Yeah, all
that,
right.
yeah.
$20.
The other one, the other U.S. Area that I really enjoyed was Grand Canyon. And the first time you go there, it's just, whoa! It's, I think 3 miles wide and a mile deep, and it's just mind-boggling, just beautiful.
I was there in June one time, but it was snowing and I couldn't see anything.
In
You were
June.
at the North Rim? Were you at the North Rim?
Yes,
Snowing, couldn't see anything.
snowing in June, and we had we couldn't stay too long. We had to move on to the next stop. But,
Yeah.
There's a big hole out there, it's snowing and you can't see.
that's right.
This is not a good thing, is it?
Well, we appreciate your coming, and anybody else have any other questions? Because we have 5 people yet to videotape.
Oh, I ran my mouth long, didn't I?
You did great. We're proud of you. Thank you. Go out there and teach those people how to protect. What are we going to protect now?
Everybody.
Oh, okay. That's good. Thank you. Bob Edgin. Robert. Okay, I think